see what I want to do. Hi everyone, happy Sabbath. I just got home from church not too awful long ago, and I decided that I would start looking for another video that I could show and share with everyone based on the end times. And this is from End Times Prophecy, who have videos on YouTube, and they're also Seventh-day Adventists. I want to say that this video is a little lengthy. It's 28 minutes long, and if you don't want to see the whole thing, let me know. But if you would like to see it, put some hearts up, because it is very, very interesting, and it goes to show you what the signs of the times really are, and it goes to show you how many people are wandering after the beast of Revelation 13. So I'm going to turn it around. If you want me to watch the whole thing or show the whole thing, then let me know. Otherwise, I will just show you bits and pieces of it. But in order to get the full clarity of it, you almost have to see the whole thing to understand what's happening. So I'm going to turn I do see some hearts coming, so that must mean you do want to see the whole thing. I will turn the camera around now, and I will start showing the video. And I hope you can hear it okay. Some of it is louder than others, but it was the way it was recorded, and I can't do anything about that. So we'll do the best we can. So here goes.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. And all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast.
Thank God for Pope Francis.
He's the rock star Pope.
We love this Pope in an absolutely new and enthusiastic way. Buonasera.
Revolutionizing the Catholic Church. He's the rock star pontiff. Thrilling the faithful in St. Peter's Square and across the world. Pope Francis I is the new and revolutionary face of the world's largest religion. Fated by the famous, drawn to his charismatic humility. I had some girls say to me the other day that he's cooler than One Direction.
The sea beast that John sees in Revelation 13 is the same little horn power that Daniel sees in Daniel 7. This little horn power comes up from the terrible beast, which is the Roman Empire. The little horn and the sea beast both have the same character, i.e. blasphemy against God. They both continue the same time, 1260 prophetic days, and they both persecute and kill God's people. This power is none other than the Papal Church of Rome, with that man of sin, the Pope, at the helm. And what does the world do according to Revelation 13? It wonders after the beast. Now there is only one kingdom on earth which the world is truly wondering after. Think about this. Is it Islam or a Muslim kingdom? No. Is it America? No. Sure, America does set the standard in certain areas, and the world does follow America to a certain degree, but it does not wonder after America. No, America has another role in the end times, which you will see. There is only one kingdom that the world truly wonders after, and that is the Papal Church of Rome, based at the Vatican.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
wonderful day the Lord has made. Holy Father,
Did you hear what he said?
on behalf of Michelle,
Call him a holy father.
myself,
He's not holy and he's not our father.
So on behalf of the American people, it is my great honor and privilege to welcome you to the United States of America.
We now have another beast, which is symbolic of a kingdom, come into play. And this beast, or kingdom, causes the world to submit to and worship the first beast kingdom, which is the papacy. Revelation 13 tells us that this other kingdom has two horns like a lamb. Who is the lamb in the Bible? It's Christ. So this nation rises as a Christian nation, but then later speaks like a dragon. And it has the power to force the world to submit to the Pope and the Papal Church of Rome. Friends, there is only one nation on earth that fits this, and that is America.
Good morning, and make no mistake, this is historic not only because this is the first Pope ever to address Congress, but think about this. He will be on the tableau there, flanked by two Catholics, the Speaker of the House, John Boehner, as well as the Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden. Almost a third of Congress is Catholic. There are 4 justices of the Supreme Court there, including 3 of the 6 Catholics who currently sit on the 9-member court. So you have an incredible show of Catholic force in one of the 3 major branches of government. And I think it's worth reflecting on that and the fact that And we're pausing now because we're going to hear the House Sergeant of Arms introduce and announce the Pope of the Holy See, Pope Francis, similar to what we hear on a State of the Union.
Mr. Speaker, the Pope of the Holy See.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Revelation 17 gives us even further evidence of who this Antichrist beast is, because we now have a harlot woman riding and controlling this beast. A woman in the Bible is a symbol of God's people, so this harlot woman is a symbol of an apostate church. Many people today think that Islam is Babylon the Great, but this cannot be, because Islam is not in control of the nations. It seems to be fighting against the nations, but Islam is certainly not in control like this harlot appears to be. There is only one apostate religion or church that has the control over the nations, and that is the Roman Catholic Church. But how can the Catholic Church be Babylon and the first beast of Revelation 13? Because the beast of Revelation 13 is the papacy, otherwise known as the Holy See, which is the government of the Roman Catholic Church, and the harlot represents the church itself. So we have church and state. The beast is the state, and the harlot is the church. Babylon is the mother of apostate religions, and as Revelation 17 confirms, she has daughters whom are joining with her in this massive ecumenical movement to unite all religions and churches.
If there is no more protest, how can there be a Protestant church? Maybe now we're all Catholics again.
La mayor parte de los habitantes del planeta se declaran creyentes. Esto debería provocar un diálogo entre las religiones.
Confío en Buda.
Creo en Dios. Creo en Jesucristo.
Creo en Dios, Allah.
Muchos piensan distinto, sienten distinto, buscan a Dios o encuentran a Dios de diversa manera. En esta multitud, en este abanico de religiones, hay una sola certeza que tenemos para todos. Todos somos hijos de Dios.
There was reconciliation in the air in St. Peter's. Centuries of division were rolled away when Pope Francis greeted Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew from Istanbul during the inaugural Mass. Such a meeting has not taken place since what is known as the Great Schism, which split Western and Eastern Christianity in 1054.
We have far more in common than what divides us. When you talk about Pentecostals, charismatics, evangelicals, fundamentalists, Catholics, Methodist, Baptist, Presbyterian, on and on and on, well, they would all say, we believe in the Trinity, we believe in the Bible, we believe in the resurrection, we believe salvation is through Jesus Christ. These are the big issues. Sometimes Protestants think that Catholics worship Mary like she's another God, but that's not exactly Catholic doctrine. There's the understanding, and people say, well, what are the saints all about? Or, why are you praying to the saints? And when you understand what they mean by what they're saying, there's a whole lot more commonality. Now, there's still real differences. No doubt about that. But the most important thing is, if you love Jesus, we're on the same team. The unity that I think we would see realistically is not a structural unity, but a unity of mission.
I just felt very honored and very humbled. Seeing the Pope give the Mass to 100,000 people that day, you just see he has such a heart to help people. I love the fact that he's made the church more inclusive, not trying to make it smaller, but to try to make it larger, to take everybody in. So that just resonates with me. They want to see unity. They want to see unity. They want to see unity.
Pastor Rick, thanks for being here.
Hey, Raymond, it's good to hear you, and we've had a great 3 days.
Now, why did you want to be part of this Vatican meeting, this international colloquy on marriage? Why did you consider it important that you be there and offer a message?
Well, when the Pope invites you, you go. We
had well, that's a good reason.
Of course,
He wouldn't invite me because I wouldn't go.
As you have already talked about, invited about 300 religious leaders from all around the world to come and spend 3 days talking about marriage and family and the importance of the relationships between a man and a woman. And I was one invited to give a major lecture to represent the evangelicals, and it was a great honor to be here. We had a wonderful time. I've met so many cardinals and archbishops. A number of them told me they've read either Purpose-Driven Life or Purpose-Driven Church or both. And actually, a number of them told me they're following me on Twitter or Facebook.
On Wednesday, Pope Francis met with leaders of different Christian denominations and also with heads of other religions. The group was in Rome to attend his inaugural Mass. The leader of the Orthodox Church, Bartholomew I, greeted the Pope and said his humility will bring the Christian message across to a lot of people.
La scelta della semplicità da parte della vostra amata e onorata santità ha reso e rende evidente il criterio che vi guida nella scelta dell'essenziale. Ciò riempie di speranza i cuori di tutti i vostri fedeli sparsi nel mondo e in generale di tutti gli uomini.
The chairman of Moscow's Patriarchate, Hilarion, was also among the guests. Pope Francis highlighted that the church is committed to promoting unity among believers. After his speech, the Pope greeted each representative one by one, and perhaps the friendliest greeting was with a rabbi from Buenos Aires, which is the city where Bergoglio was archbishop. The Pope received several gifts that reflected all the cultural and religious diversity in the room. The gifts included these Eastern icons and also this bright African cross.
La domanda sul condividere, ma io mi domando, ma non abbiamo lo stesso battesimo? E se abbiamo lo stesso battesimo, dobbiamo camminare insieme.
For the peace of the whole world, for the stability of the holy churches of God, and for the union of all, let us pray to the Lord.
As part of his trip to Sri Lanka, the Pope met with leaders of the country's major religions: Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity. It was a one-of-a-kind meeting, and the local cardinal recognized its importance.
It is no doubt a sacred and unique event, which goes down in the history of Sri Lanka.
Buddhist monks welcomed the Pope with this song. The Hindu representative gave the Pope a bright cover, while the Muslim leader condemned the recent attacks Islamic terrorists carried out in Paris and Pakistan. In his speech, the Pope explained that interfaith dialogue is a tool that fosters respect. A dialogue is sincere, he said, when no one masks or denies their beliefs. And before heading out, Pope Francis made his way around the hall, greeting people and receiving gifts from representatives of each religion.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings
kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
The beast does not just comprise of the Papal Church of Rome. We also have the 10 horns, which represent the leaders of the world nations, who give their power and strength to the papacy. These world leaders share the same goal as the Papal Church and give their support to it, which is why they are counted as part of the beast system. And what goal do they share? World unification.
Pope Francis greeted 132 official delegations that came to Rome to congratulate him and welcome his pontificate. He greeted them one by one in St. Peter's Basilica. The Vatican was quite busy. Among the heads of state and dignitaries, there were 6 current monarchs, 32 heads of state, 3 heirs to the throne, and 11 government leaders. From Latin America, 10 heads of state attended. Among them was Chilean President Sebastián Piñera, who, along with his wife, asked the Pope to bless a few religious items. The President of Ecuador, Rafael Correa, brought his mother to the Mass. Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff was also there, as well as Mexico's President Enrique Peña Nieto, whose wife gave the Pope a papal hat. Vice President Joe Biden led the delegation from the U.S. The Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, was also in attendance, as well as Spain's Prince and Princess, headed by the government's President, Mariano Rajoy.
The world must unite. We must be together, regardless of nationality, or race, or faith, in fighting against the scourge of terrorism. We can and we will defeat those who threaten the safety and security of people all around the world. At a time when others are trying to divide us along lines of religion or sect, we have to reaffirm that most fundamental of truths. We are all God's children. We're all born equal with inherent dignity. We have to understand, an attack on one faith is an attack on all our faiths. We've got to make sure that hate crimes are punished and that the civil rights of all Americans are upheld.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, His Holiness Pope Francis will now enter the General Assembly Hall. May I request representatives' attention as His Holiness makes his way to the rostrum. Thank you.
משמר יעבור לדום, משמר דום.
The President of the State of Israel and the Prime Minister.
Me alegra poder haber recibido y cumplir con la palabra.
ברוך הבא בשם אדוני. ברוך אתה בשערי ירושלים. הוד קדושתך, הגעת למדינת ישראל, בחיים היום בני דתות ובני לאומים שונים. יהודים, נוצרים, מוסלמים, דרוזים וצ'רקסים.
you. Very nice.
The third plenary meeting of the General Assembly is called to order. This morning we shall hear an address by His Holiness Pope Francis of the Observer State of the Holy See on the occasion of his visit to the United Nations. Your Holiness, heads of state and governments, Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor to welcome you, Pope Francis, Bishop of Rome, to the General Assembly of the United Nations.
For those of us who cherish the United Nations, this chamber is a sacred space. In no other hall, from no other platform, can a world leader speak to all humanity. And for decades, that is precisely what world leaders have done. Kings and queens, presidents, prime ministers, ministers, and popes. But never in our 70-year history has the United Nations been honored to welcome a pope for the opening of the General Assembly. And never in papal history has the head of Catholic Church addressed such an array of world leaders. Your Holiness, thank you for making history.
Friends, we are seeing the final events of Bible prophecy beginning to be played out. America, the once Protestant nation where people fled to from the persecution of the Papal Church of Rome, is now speaking as a dragon and exercising all the power of the papacy before it, just like Revelation 13 says. The world is wondering after the Papal Church. The various religions and churches are uniting with the Roman Catholic Church, and the world leaders are given their power under the papacy, and they are all uniting under Satan's banner to fight against the truth that is found in the only begotten Son of God, Jesus Christ. And Satan will use great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the very elect. If you do not know what is coming in these last days, then I urge you to read the book called The Great Controversy. You can download it onto your computer or mobile device via the link shown. May the Lord help us and guide us all.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying,
Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities.
As you can see, he is really being followed after, and I don't think that people really realize what they're really doing. You know, they're sincere, like I said before, but they're sincerely wrong. They're following after a man that doesn't deserve the recognition he's getting. And from what I understand, and I may be wrong, somebody can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think he's the most loved pope, and he's the most one that has traveled the most. He's been all over, and he continues to go. I mean, Look where he was on this video. He was all over the place. And everybody was wandering after him, kissing his ring and stuff. That's anything I would ever do. I'll never kiss his ring or even I wouldn't walk across the street to see him, to tell you the truth, because I know what the man represents. And we all know what he represents. He's one of Satan's agents. He doesn't worship God. And if he says he does, he's wrong. He doesn't worship God. He worships the devil. And we know he's the beast of Revelation 13. And when they talk about world unity, we know that'll never happen because it's going to bring on the New World Order. And then that'll bring on the National Sunday Law and the Mark of the Beast. And frankly, I'm ready for any of it. Because this world, like I said, is not my home. I'm just passing through. It has been so wicked and so evil. And it just seems to wax worse and worse. And a while back, I don't know the views that are in here, I had talked about a transgender in church. Well, he was there again today. Although he didn't have a dress on, but he did have a woman's blouse on, and he has the wig of a woman, and he had pants, but he also had red fingernail polish on his nails. And my granddaughter was very concerned because she was afraid that he might go into our restroom. She needed to go so bad, and I didn't know what to tell her, just hoping that he did go in there. But anyway, that's the end of the video, and that's what I wanted to tell you guys, that we need to stay true to Jesus. We can't let things like what we just saw get to us. And if we know somebody that is a Catholic and you know what's happening, give them a tract or something. Let them study the Bible for themselves, because they don't understand that they are worshiping the beast of Revelation 13. And that's soon to come upon us, where the National Sunday Law is going to be instituted, and we either worship on Sunday and take the mark, or we don't worship on Sunday and we're persecuted and killed. Well, I for one would rather take the persecution and be put to death as to take the mark of the beast, because we all know if we take the mark of the beast, what's going to happen to us in the last. We're automatically lost. And look how many people are lost because they don't know what's happening. We do know that there will be sincere people in church or in heaven. We do know that those that have never heard the name of Jesus will be there. We also know those that have never been told about Jesus or about the end times, what's to come, will be there as well. But I'm one of these that I know what's coming, and I want to be prepared for it. And I hope we're all getting prepared for it. It is something that we know is coming, and it scares me a little bit to know what's coming, but then in a way it doesn't, because I know it's a culmination of Jesus' second coming afterwards, and that is the most important thing to me in the world, to wait for his second coming, to spend my life in eternity with Jesus. So I hope that you all feel the same way too. I'm going to call it quits now, and I just want to say I'm just thankful that you're all here today, that you could be here to support me in this and watch this video and be able to tell others about it too. And because this message needs to get out. And that's why I do these videos, to get the message out. I'm not able to do it a lot of other ways like Forerunner and some of these other people are. But coming here on Periscope helps me to get the message out and to warn other people what's going to happen at the end times. Because we know it's right upon us. We can't say when. We don't know. And like I've said before, when it comes to the election, it doesn't matter who becomes president, because they're not really elected anyway. They're selected. And whoever gets it, Bible prophecy is going to be fulfilled regardless. And it could happen the end of this year, it could happen next year, we just don't know when. So we have to be prepared. We have to stay in the Word, we have to stay true to God, and we have to stay in the church, because we know there are going to be people that are going to fall away. Adventists are going to fall away at the end time, and we don't want to be one of them that's going to fall. And we know that the persecution is going to come from within the church more than from without. So we got to be prepared for that too. So let's all stay true to Jesus, stay true to the Word, and stay in the truth, because we have the truth, and we should stand by it no matter what, and say, I am not going to falter, and I'm not going to take the mark, and I'm going to stay true to God. If I'm killed, I'm killed. If I'm persecuted, let me be persecuted, because God's Word stands forever, and God's love stands forever. And that's who I want to be with for eternity. So I'm going to call it quits for now, but I thank you all for coming in, the live viewers and also the replay viewers. And I want to wish you all a blessed Sabbath, those that are still in Sabbath, and those that are not. I hope you have a great week. God bless you, and take care.